This podcast is brought to you by Springfield Armoury, makers of the Model 2020 Waypoint, the 2020 Redline, and the Model 2020 Rimfire.
Hunters, farmers, sporting shooters, it's time to set your sights. It's time to unload on the podcast made for Aussie shooters with Brad.
For a lesser man, this would be a challenge.
Matt.
Quite frankly, I'm going to win this.
And Keith.
I am pretty much the rabbit-proof fence.
It's the NIOA Unloaded Podcast.
All right, welcome. I tell you what, it's bigger and better than ever, the NIOA Unloaded Podcast. Keithy, great to have you here as always.
Thanks, mate.
And Brad, probably not so much, but welcome anyway.
Thank you, Matthew.
And would you please, big round of applause for our special guest, Dakar Rally Champion, Mr. Toby Price.
You. Thanks for having us, guys. Unreal.
I tell you, we got some exciting stuff. We got Toby in the range earlier, didn't we?
We did. Yeah, we did.
And didn't shoot too bad either.
Not bad.
Okay, we're going to talk
Set a
about
pretty
that
high
later
mark.
on. But mate, we're here to talk all things motorbike racing and buggy racing, all that sort of stuff. Keithy, how did you get in touch with Toby, mate?
Toby, you won a, I think it was Coupe de Grace.
Yeah, Coupe de Gras race. Yep. America, they love to hand out shotguns for prizes. So it's, it's a different world there.
It's so different that they actually offered you a semi-automatic shotgun and we had to have that changed around to an under and over so that you could legally have it.
Yes.
Here in
Yep.
Australia.
I won that event a couple of times. I won a scooter once, little 50cc Vespa scooter, and I couldn't get that thing home in the luggage carry-on bag or anything. So neither the shotgun. So it was a bit of a strange world to win over there and get those prizes.
Oh, it was good to be able to help you out and get something at least over here. That was good.
Yeah, she's still sitting there nice and proud on the wall. So it's cool.
I saw your name flag up like Toby Price is coming in to collect a shotgun and I thought, couldn't be the Toby Price.
Look, Toby, take us back, mate. When did you actually start first getting into? When did you sort of know I want to give this a go?
So taking it all the way back from when I started off was I grew up on a big property, a big farm. It was Clonkeen Station out at Rodo near Hillston and Lake Griffith. And I grew up on 43,000 acres. So basically that was a place.
Just a small little hobby farm.
Small little hobby farm, basically, yep. And the only thing we could kind of do out there was ride horses or ride motorcycles. And definitely wasn't a horse person. So, I took the motorcycle route and started to learn, but wasn't smooth sailing from the start. Dad ran along behind me for a little bit, held on to me and then let go. And then I rode for probably about 20, 30 metres. And then once I realised Dad wasn't there, I freaked out and crashed. And I was like, spat the dummy and threw the thing in the shed and said, no, I'm not going that way. And about 2 weeks later, I came back and said to Dad, get the bike out of the shed. Let's have another go of it. And he let go of me again and, basically went until it ran out of fuel. So it was,
And how old were you then?
I was about 2.5, going close to 3.
Wow.
So, that was where it all kicked off. And then my first race and event was at 4 years of age. So, it was at Condobolin Auto Sports Club. And, then it just basically started to snowball from there and take off.
So that very first race, how did you go?
Yeah, actually, it was quite good in the first one. I basically lapped the whole field in the 50cc class.
At 4 years old?
At 4 years old, just going full gas. I just thought it was like on the farm. And, it was just it was a dirt track loop race, so like short circuit racing. And then at that time, the club president came and see my dad and just said, hey, like, young fella does pretty good on a motorcycle. He said you should take him to a state level race. And that race was in Albury-Wodonga, and went there, and I think I almost lapped up the last place there at that event. And
At a state level?
At a state level. And that was at 4 years of age, and at that point I didn't realise what I was doing. I was riding a motorbike, having fun, and then from there I was like, said to Dad, how'd I go? And he said, I think you finished last, mate, and it's all good, no stress. And I was like happy as Larry, and got to eat my meat pie and play in the dirt. So it was, that was basically where it all kicked off for us.
And what in the afternoon just ended up getting a nice big trophy?
Yeah, then I thought for last place you got a trophy, and it's the blue ribbon. So that was about it. And then we just basically just enjoyed it as a family weekend and stuff away. And my dad used to race Class 5 in the off-road championship. So they had an old International Scout, had an old Cleveland, mid-mounted in the truck. It started out pretty stock. And then as time went on, Dad and my uncle at that time, my uncle used to drive, my dad used to navigate. And then from there, the truck, they started to jump it a bit further and realised it was a bit nose heavy. So that's when they mid-mounted the engine and started to try and get it to handle a little bit better. And I think at that time it was 3 old man emu shocks per corner. And I think it beat the living hell out of them. And but they were doing that first. And then once my racing started to kick off a little bit more, unfortunately the truck got sold. But then at the same time, my cousins, Jeff, they brought his kids along. We all just did a big family trip and went racing motorcycles.
Wow. That's unreal. Was your childhood like that, Brad?
Yeah, close to. Yeah, close to. I didn't grow up on the 43,000 acre farm, but I have ridden motorbikes for a lot of those years. And my young fella now, he's riding motorbikes too. Yeah. So we just come back from a trip just last weekend.
Fantastic. Yeah, at a Roma, weren't you? Yeah.
Nice.
So, mate, obviously, you know, by the sounds of it, your dad's had a big influence, you know, especially in that whole racing side. Has he been a real mentor for you with your whole racing, or just describe some of your, you know, some of the people that have really influenced your racing over the years?
Yeah, so that, like my dad racing off road and everything, definitely a big influence. My uncle Jeff, they always, I don't know, I was just always a test dummy, I guess, for the farm. I was silly enough that. Yeah, my Jeff, my uncle, he would always just say, need to check to see if the spark plugs are working in this engine. And he'd just give me the spark plug and hang on to it. He'd wind the engine over and next thing, bang, take off and scream. And he goes, yep, well, the spark plug's working. But a week later, I'd do the same thing again. I wouldn't really learn my lesson too well. So, that were like pretty much my 2 influences, just watching them racing and everything. And then from there, I guess like Jeremy McGrath and stuff like that around that time was basically starting to make all the headlines of racing, where you had to wait for the magazines and the newspapers and stuff to come out and have all that. Nowadays, the digital marketing world, it's as soon as it happens, it's instant.
And sort of when, you know, 4 years old, doing your first race, when did you sort of know within yourself, you know, this is what I want to do?
It was probably, about another 4 years later when I was about 8 years of age. When I was just starting to, 7 or 8, I would get off the motorcycle of a 50cc. Back in my day, the only motorcycle available when you went from a 50 was a KX60. And then once I went to switch to the 80s, I'd still won some state championship titles and everything. And then I got some support from Kawasaki then to switch to the KX80. And, from there, that's where I started to probably feel like I wanted to make it a job and do the same things, watching all the guys in America like Jeremy McGrath and all the Crusty Demons guys, and basically then was like, okay, cool, you can make a living out of this, but when you're at school, the teachers don't believe that too much, and they're like, hey, you need to make sure you put your effort into school, and motorcycles probably won't take you too far, and now 36 years later, I can say that I've travelled the world racing a motorcycle.
So there you have it, kids. Give up school.
Teachers aren't always right.
Teachers aren't always right.
No, kids, don't listen to Matt.
Stay in school. It's important.
You did finish your schooling, didn't you, Toby?
I finished my schooling through the year 10. Passed my grades. Like I didn't pass in flying colours, but I made my minimums and a little bit extra, and was all good. Got my high school certificate, and then my principal was like, if you just stayed for the last 2 years for 11 and 12, we can make a big jump, big progress. And I just said to my principal, I've wasted enough years at school. I need to go out and race my motorcycle and go and do what I need to do. So it was, basically picked up my school bag and walked out of there. So it was, but that's it. It's always a hope and a dream that you'd make motorcycling your job. But there's a very, very small percentage of it that it actually works. And not without a lot of fails and a lot of speed bumps in the road, but we were able to be persistent and stay at it and make it work.
Yeah, and obviously good family support in behind that.
Oh yeah, in motorcycle racing, family support's massive. It's mum and dad are still a part of all my stuff that I do now to this day, and it makes it a lot easier for me to do my job, and they look after everything while I'm going overseas and doing what I need to do to pay bills. But it's good to come home and see mum and dad and still keep them a part of the racing and, have that family sport to it.
It must be hard for them seeing you tear around a track at 200k an hour, because I know my young bloke, when he goes past me and I go,
Don't want to look.
I just can imagine looking at your forearm there with
We'll get to that. We'll talk about a few little bingles later on.
For sure.
But as we're going through the whole stages, when do you sort of feel you got your first break? The big break. Was it a slow progression and you were just sort of arrived and you're doing things like the Dakar Rally, or was there a time that you sort of thought, you know what, I'm now there?
Probably around when I was 14, 15 is where I started to make my break. But then also on top of that, that's, as you say, that scar on my arm was when I was 15, and kind of like everything was going good, and then you'd have that one fall that just breaks a bone or it just puts you back a little bit, and then you feel like you're starting to try and claw back through again. But like I say, I won numerous state motocross championships on 80s, 125s, Australian championships and stuff like that. But like around 15 was 11 weeks out from the Australian junior motocross titles, and that's where I had that fall and got a good old scar on my arm. And it was basically, the doctors told me it was about a 6 month recovery, and I was 11 weeks out from the Australian Junior Motocross Nationals, and I did everything I could. Got myself back on the motorcycle 10 weeks out, went to the Australian Junior Motocross Nationals and won 2 titles there, and I think
against
everyone
doctor's orders.
Against doctor's orders. I'm sure he wasn't too keen on that.
Are we going to say doctors don't know either?
You don't need school. You don't need doctors. Actually, Josh, can you make sure we got a little disclaimer on the we have to run this past legal. All right? We'll run this past legal before we go up. But I just should say, for people that can't see, there's actually like a 30 centimetre serious scar up your arm there. So what did you actually do there?
Yeah, so I was practicing for Supercross because I was getting prepared to make that switch to seniors, which then it takes you into Supercross racing inside of arenas and stadiums and everything. And I came up short on a triple jump, which actually was a gearbox actually failed on the up ramp of the jump, and came up short and put both hands out, broke both wrists, and then I ended up from this scar was from what they call compartment syndrome. So if anyone's ridden, I'm sure you boys ridden motorcycles before, and your arms lock up and you get arm pump. It's basically the same case of that, but at 30 times worse. And it just basically your whole arm starts to swell up, and was cutting the blood circulation off to my arm. This is at 15. And if I was probably another 15 hours sitting there in the hospital bed complaining about the pain and what was going on. If I wouldn't have went back in for surgery straight away, they probably would have lopped me off at the elbow and brought it all to a stop. So it's never been an easy road, and I guess never feel like I've always got an easy break to it, but I've always been on the cusp of making that break and made it work, or struggled to make it work. So it's always come through.
Just been determined to get through it, I suppose. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's it. 100%. Determination makes a big difference to it. So,
and I guess that's one of the things that we want to talk about in terms of, a pretty ordinary break like that. And we're going to talk about future ones as well, because it gets worse, people. Stay tuned. But, you've done major races, Dakar Rally, all these other, Fink, all these races where you've had some horrific accidents. How do you get back on that bike again?
The mentality to it was just, at a young age, bones heal very quickly, and it's like, well, if I break again, it'll come back, it'll fix itself, and we'll be so good to go again and go racing again. So
you've proven that many times, mate. That you heal pretty well.
It's with the age bit now, it's probably the healing process is slowing down a little bit, but anywhere from that 12 to 25 years of age, it was. Full gas, because I'm invincible. Nothing's going to stop me, and I'm going to heal up, and I'll risk everything for it. But just keep going. So it was at the end of the day, it was just another thing. Like I say, just kind of wanted to prove the school teachers wrong, that I could make something work out of it. And
what do they know?
Yeah, that's it.
About as much as doctors, I think.
Both doctors and schooling is getting reamed at the moment.
I look forward to the doctors and teachers' emails this week coming in. So it'll be great. Look, let's talk Dakar Rally. So I'm not really a bike kind of guy, but even I know what the Dakar Rally is. Keithy, you're a big fan of it.
Huge fan.
Brad, you're a fan. How do you even get to the Dakar Rally?
Yeah, so look, there's a fair few processes and everything that we'd been through. So basically my desert racing career started at Fink in 2010. Then I won that event a couple of times, had our desert race a couple of times.
Yeah, so for people that don't know, just explain the Fink track. It's in Australia?
Yep. So, the Fink track's in Australia. We race from Alice Springs to a community called Apachula. So you cross the Fink River. So it's a 230-kilometre track each way. So on day one, you'll do from Alice Springs to Apachula. Day two, you'll turn around and come the same track backwards in the reverse direction, but same track back. So it's, just shy of your 500 kilometres there. And, it's when I first did that race, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make 230 kilometres on a motorcycle. This is just, I've got to do 2 fuel stops. Like, this is a crazy race. Like, why am I doing this? And ended up winning on the first attempt. And then basically once we won that event a few times, I made some connections with the guys in the States. And that was when I was then trying to get myself out of Australia a little bit to, I guess, get seen by the world, to see if we can compete on the world stage a bit, and made some good friends, one being Kurt Caselli in America doing the Baja races in Mexico, and made a good connection with him, always met up with him at 6-day enduro events, also while we're in America racing, doing events. And, he was doing all the Baja races, so invited me over for that. Then I was following him for the first event racing and in the lead up to the race, and basically I'd never seen the track, never been on it, but I basically stuck to his back wheel and was right there. And he had a friend, Alex Doringer, who lived in Europe, and between those two they had a really good connection, and Kurt put in a pretty good word for us. It was like, hey, if you're ever going to support someone to come and do Dakar Rally when the time's right and it suits, Toby's probably a good candidate for it. Yeah. And then that was in 2012, 13, and then 2015 was my first chance at Dakar Rally. Unfortunately, in 2013 we lost Kurt Caselli to an accident in the race over there in the Baja 1000. And Alex at that point then basically made a promise to himself that he was going to help me get to the Dakar race and keep Kurt's word, and went there for my first attempt. And when I was saying Fink was basically just shy of 500 kilometres, I then now had to go and do 9,000 kilometres.
Wow.
And I was like, this is, I don't know what I've really signed myself up for. And I knew it was going to be pain and torture, and it definitely exceeded those well and above what I thought. So, but we're able to get a third place in our first one there, which was pretty cool.
That's incredible. Look, let's just unpack that a bit as well, with Kurt passing away. Describe the community. There must be a very tight community because accidents happen. It must be a very close-knit community. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. It's motorsport racing. It's a very, very small world. Everyone knows everyone. And, usually in tough times, even though this sport's really super expensive, everyone kind of rallies together if you're in a pretty bad way. They do a lot of fundraising and stuff like that when you're injured and help out. So it is a very tight-knit group, family-orientated sport. Yeah. But, we've always got each other's back, and even though we are competing against each other and we want to, we're mates in the pits, and as soon as the helmet goes on, they're your worst enemy, and, you're all on full gas. But it's, like I say, whenever you're in trouble, the racing and motorcycle community comes together pretty strong and helps out in many ways to try and get you back on a motorcycle or anything like that with, getting you out on the track, just lending parts and stuff. So it's like I say, the old famous saying, it's the world's pretty small. It definitely is in the motorcycle world for sure.
Mm. And I guess, that probably could not be more true. I mean, you've had such great success. I mean, how many times did you win Dakar Rally?
Been able to win Dakar twice. Yep. We finished 1 second and 3 thirds. So
and the Fink?
We've won Fink the 6 times. I've won Hadar Desert Race 5 times.
Baja?
I've never won a Baja race. So the best I've had there is second. I know.
Well, that's a bit disappointing, isn't
it? I probably should have listened to school a little bit more. So
should have listened to the school teachers and the doctors.
Yeah, exactly. But so that's one that's kind of eluded me a little bit at this stage. But yeah, we're trying that at the moment. Racing with Paul Wheel in the trophy truck, with all-wheel drive trophy truck in America and Mexico, and so yeah, we've still got that one on our list to do, the tick off to have a win in Baja. But the best finish we've had there is a second in the Baja 1000 with actual NASA Alater from Qatar. Yep. So we've been close. We're about 6 minutes short, and
wow.
Yeah, so it's definitely achievable. And like I say, I've tried to do the impossible at Fink a little bit sometimes with running both trophy truck and bike. So I'd run the trophy truck down in the morning, have a helicopter down there, a plane down the other end, would fly me back, and then I'd jump on the motorcycle and race the same track down again in the same day. And best I've done there was a first in class and outright on the bike, and second overall and first in class in the trophy truck. So
good grief.
I fell a little short on that one too. So I've got a couple to tick off my list.
I didn't want to bring that up, but that's certainly not a bad effort. Yeah. Well, listen, we were talking earlier before about the community, the motorsport community. We know that you've had a fair few accidents in your time. In fact, how many bones have you broken?
A bit of a shame to say, but yeah, I'm at 30 broken bones.
There we go, 30 broken bones. And could I just say, in defence of doctors, they do come in handy.
They do. They definitely do.
But I guess nothing was probably more show-stopping than when you actually really had a serious accident and you broke your neck.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that was the lead up before even Dakar really kind of kicked off on my schedules. It was 2013. This was a time that I was good friends with Kurt, getting everything underway. I'd actually signed a contract with the factory in America, and was planned to do the 250, 500 and the 1000 with the team there. So I'd done the 250 race. I think we ended up fourth at that one. Usually on the bike category, you team up with another rider. So to try and set a motorcycle up for two riders, quite difficult. You've got to compromise on a lot of things, and he's got to compromise on a lot of things too. So it's hard to do that. But we finished fourth there. We were over for the 500 race, and about the week before we went to head down and start pre-running, there was a local Hare and Hound event held out at Palm Springs in California. And yeah, don't recall the crash. Don't remember what happened. All I remember was a hard thud and a hit. And then I basically started to come around in hospital in Palm Springs and started to piece things together, and my neck was just super sore and just felt like I couldn't hold my head up properly. I was laying down in a bed, but it just felt like I couldn't do nothing with my head, and found out, I broke C6, 7 and T1 in my neck. So I broke 3 vertebrae, and basically was running on a very thin hairline of putting myself in a wheelchair, which was a bit of a nerve-wracking time. So it was got a halo screwed onto my head and bolted to my head, and actually couldn't have the surgery in America. I had to take a flight home back to Australia, just normal Qantas commercial airline. Flew back in a business class seat and landed Anzac morning of 2013, and then caught a taxi to the hospital, and then about 3 hours later I was on an operating table getting 8 screws and 3 rods put into my neck, and my head screwed on literally. So
wow,
yeah, pretty wild story, and very, very close to that dream of racing motorcycles for a job. Nearly came pretty short and pretty quick. And
I guess how was your family at this time, with all this stuff going on?
Yeah, it was quite nerve-wracking time for them. It was actually when I was in America, and I couldn't work out getting the surgery down there because the insurance packed their bags pretty quickly and took off, and found a little clause in that nice little 325 pages they send you through, and in the fine print.
Good on your insurance.
Good insurance. So they did the bolt, and it was going to be about $500,000 to have the surgery done in America,
US.
In the US.
Good grief.
But yeah, the doctor there was basically telling me your life's changed. You're never going to ride a motorcycle again. It's done and dusted. That's it. So he was doom and gloom and worst case scenario. And as soon as I had my 2 feet back on the ground here in Australia, I could get my insurance that I had here to cover the cost. It was still not cheap, but definitely was nowhere near the $500,000 price tag. Once I got back here, a doctor here in Brisbane, Paul Lucina, he basically saw me and said, yep, no worries, we'll get you fixed. What's your plans and what do you want to do? I said, well, I want to keep racing motorcycles. He said, yep, no worries, we'll get you fixed well enough to start doing all that again. And, basically the whole mindset then kind of shifted a lot. It was, like I say, that 14-hour flight home was doom and gloom and life's done and it's finished, even though, yes, I'm still lucky to be walking, but I'm not going to do something I love to do. And, he changed the mindset a lot. And as I mean, it's pretty powerful tool, the mind. It can really make or break an injury and what's something going on. If you're very negative towards it all, you're going to have a rough time. But if you keep your mindset strong, everything's going to be okay. You're going to fix it. You'll do everything you can to fix it. It can definitely help the process a little bit. And I think it was about 11 months later, threw a leg over a motorcycle again. And for sure, the mentality side had to kick back in there again. It was a tough time because you were just like, didn't know what the body then is capable of doing. Whether if I go into a corner and I just lose the front and I fall over, is that going to be the day that it calls it quits? And if you're not fully focused on what you're doing on the motorcycle, it can be quite dangerous. So for us there, then that was the hardest thing. And what then kind of happened was that I had that fall, came into a corner and just washed his front out and fell over and rolled around and was like, grabbed my legs and everything could move and I could feel everything. And I'm like, okay, well, it can take that type of abuse. All right, what's the next kind of step? And then the next one was a little bit bigger and I probably went over the handlebars and flipped and rolled a little bit and handled that. And then I was like, all right, sweet. Well, now I can pull 6th gear and wide open. And
I'm back.
If it's going to work, it's going to work. So it was, it was definitely baby steps of it all happening. And I came back and done the first round of the Enduro Championships in 2014. Won the first round and then it wasn't too long. I got back into my glory days. I was happy as Larry and day 2, clobbered a tree super flat out and super hard. And came through that one all good, busted my ribs and everything. But hey, my neck was still good and I was still on my feet. So I tested her out and wrapped it around the tree and happy days. So then it was back to normal then. It was like, full gas.
So all you can do is hit a tree to make yourself feel better.
It's some real takeaways for people listening to this podcast.
Okay, I can't wait.
Yeah. Look, if I could ask you, what was, I know you're still doing racing with the trucks and all that sort of stuff, but what do you love? Like what's been some of your favorite races and why?
I'd probably have to say back in my junior days were like the favorite time. Like I say, you had sponsors helping and stuff, but they weren't covering the bills. Mum and Dad were covering the bills and taking me to events and everything, but there was no pressure there. So it was never forced on me to do well or anything. It was all up to me. And they were definitely like the fun times. But then, yes, you're like, well, now I'm 16, 17. I need to start paying bills and phone bills and stuff started coming in and everything. So you're like, all right, cool. Now you need to try and put the effort in and make sure it works. And then, probably my favorite event would have been probably in 2010, like being Fink and Hatter. They were like the first time that really I kind of fell in my position where I was quite happy to be wide open and full gas. That was just like me being back out in the farm. Like I say, there's one gate and 3 kilometres is the next gate and let's see how fast I can get there. And that was just where I kind of felt my niche was and where I enjoyed being. And 6th gear and wide open, there's no other feeling like it. So it's, that was where they were good fun events. And for sure there was pressure there, but like nothing extreme. But then once Dakar and everything kind of kicked off and started in 15, that was where it was quite serious. You had to make sure you were doing the right things and training and testing and everything like that. So it's fun for sure, but there's also a lot of behind the scenes pressure that if you don't do well, sponsors want to ask questions why, and you need to produce answers to it all the time. So it's pretty wild. But at the end of the day, I've had a good time with everything. I've done well with everything. Like I said, I've always, if I got an opportunity and a chance, I grab it with both hands and give it 100% and try and make the best of every opportunity that comes my way. And I'd race a lawnmower if there was a championship for it. So it's, if anyone's got one of them going and ready for it, I'll race a lawnmower if I need to as well.
Victor Challenge.
Yeah, the old Victor Challenge for sure. So
take us through the team that you have with us. How many people are involved in putting on something for you for Dakar?
Yeah, for Dakar, it's a massive big team. So I've got my own basically a personal mechanic. So he just works on my bike and my bike only. But then from there, there's probably, they would take about 40 odd people to the event for, at that point, anywhere from 5 to 6 riders. So it's massive big team of people behind it. The support from home, my team being mum and dad, they're always been a big supporter. But once you're at the events and races, it's tough for them because the mechanic does probably 80% of the work and I'm doing 20% of the work, and they don't get no recognition for it. And at the end of the race, for sure, the whole team gets on the group photo for results and everything. But you're the one that takes the limelight. But if they weren't working on your motorcycle, putting in 100% there, I wouldn't be in that position either to have that result. So it's tough. There's a lot of people in behind the scenes with trainers, mental coaches, physios, cooks, mechanics, guys that run the team, managers, everything. So it's a massive, big moving roadshow of everything at Dakar Rally. So it's big teams that make it all work, make it possible for me.
And how does it work for, just say there's a young fella listening out now, loves his motocross, loves his motorsport. How does sponsorship work? How does getting a manager work? How does all that stuff, does it sort of just happen as you're progressing, or is it something that you actively go searching for?
It's a bit of both. If I feel like in line with a brand well and support them in the sport that I do, and that cross branding would work, then we can approach them. Yes, I've been rejected numerous times. It's not like I can pick up the phone and people just throw the money on the table and it's all good to go. So don't ever be like, to kids, don't be scared to ask about it. Like it's you're either going to get a yes or no answer, and that's it. And it is, whether it's a yes or a no, it's not going to change you in any way and change the process for you. So you never know until you ask that question. And like I say, and then I have people reach out to me saying they've got a brand that they would like them to support, but then you've also got to be careful of the partners you already have on board, that you don't cross-brand and promote two of the same kind of products. So you really are juggling a lot of things. People in that social media world just see out riding a bike and doing what you need to do, and they think it's all sunshine and rainbows and easy going and perfect. It's behind the scenes, it's not. It's definitely a nightmare and chaotic, and a lot of things you got to juggle and look after to make it all work.
Yeah, and mate, I've seen your Instagram channel. It just looks freaking awesome.
Yeah.
It just looks awesome.
Don't worry, it definitely looks awesome, but there's been some sleepless nights, that's for sure. It's you're up until 2-3 o'clock in the morning stressing about if something's tight on the truck or something, the bolts are tight on the bike, and everything's prepped and ready to go and perfect. But social media looks like it's happy days, fine and dandy, and living the dream. It hasn't been all handed to me and an easy road. It's like I say, I'm up to 30 broken bones at 36 years of age, so makes me sound like a pretty average dirt bike rider. But we've been able to come through all that and make it work. And at the end of the day, just treat everybody with respect and treat everyone equally. And it doesn't matter what they do for work. Just at the end of the day, we're all the same. And that's the best part, that people can relate and understand what it's kind of like. And got a very good fan base and very supportive fan base, which is good.
That's fantastic. And I guess too, just with you being here, I mean, one of the things that we love to do, Brad, is we like to get a celebrity in the range, don't we? And we did that earlier today.
We did.
Take us through what we did today, mate.
Mate, we plucked out our Springfield 2020 rimfire, set it up, and it's a little bit of a rapid fire challenge.
Yep.
10 shots in a minute. Put the pressure on Toby there towards the end.
A bit of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think Dakar had anything on this challenge.
No, he was going well. What was putting him off was you screeching in the background, I suppose.
Probably.
45! 50! That would put anybody off, But Toby shot really well.
He did shoot really well. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to cut to that now, and we're going to have a look how our celebrity shoot-off went. All right, Toby, how you feeling?
First out of the gate, a little bit nervous, but we'll be ready to go and we're excited for it. So
All right,
we'll,
ears on. Handles pressure well.
make sure the ears are on, and then we'll have some fun. All right, here we go. Starting that clock.
Go. The timer has begun. Yeah, nice shot.
$20 seconds.
Three shots, all in the bullseye so far.
31.
Oh, very nice.
35. 40.
Oh, that's a bit off.
48. 52.
Time.
56.
We're out.
Sounded like an empty chamber.
Good. We're just on a minute.
Tell you what, mate, it was looking real sharp.
It was
up till
good.
about
Those
6.
last 3, 4, or 5 were starting to get a bit rough. I was like, yeah, I'm going to run out of time if I keep going at this speed.
Actually, that's a tiny little target, Will.
Yeah.
Let's have a close look.
Well, there we go. So, look, that was a pretty impressive effort, Toby. I tell you what, our first cab off the rank, but fantastic little group there. Mate, just a couple of flyers off to the side.
Oh, no.
What happened there?
Yeah, pulled them ones a little bit. Like I say, that pressure started to get to me. I took my time for the first few shots and then you're in the background screaming at me, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna run short here. So yeah, watch out for him.
That would put anybody off. So.
Good news, Toby. At this point in time, you are currently number 1 on the leaderboard.
Beautiful. First off the list and first right now. So I'll claim on that.
Top of the podium.
Top of the podium.
Yeah, I think that'll do one. It'll just sneak in under my 2 Dakar wins. So we'll be good to go.
We'll have to see what the next celebrity does. But Brad, you don't mind the little Springfield, mate?
No, look, they're good little guns. Yeah, and, they've got 6 models out. They got that black varmint, the sage varmint. Yep. And the walnut field guns, which we got Toby to shoot today, and they come in 4 different grades of timber. So select A, AA, AAA. I think
those ones we use for the rabbit cull.
Correct, same guns.
Same thermal one, that's right.
Yeah, same guns.
What ammo were we using, Keithy?
We're using a Federal high velocity, so it's a 40 grain match round.
Yep.
Federal HV match.
Bit of zip in them.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of zing. They're a solid 40 grainer. Shoot really, really well though. And we wanted to stick with something, the same thing that we use for the rabbits. It's a good performer.
Yeah, 100%.
Toby had some pressure on him there.
Yeah.
But
it was shooting really well.
Shoot really nice.
Up until someone yelled out, 45! 50! That'd put anybody.
I'm just going to go back and talk to Toby now.
That's fine.
But yeah, the next special guest, just watch them turrets a little bit. I'll just
a little twist on the way out.
A quick little twist the boys wasn't watching. So yeah, she's sighted in perfect.
We
boys,
shouldn't have let Toby carry that gun back to the armory.
Sabotage.
See if I can get him a little bit nervous and on edge a little bit.
I don't recall that barrel being at 90 degrees.
I at least want to keep that top spot for 2 months. So we'll see how we go.
But listen, Toby, growing up on a farm, obviously firearms would not have been foreign to you, and you enjoy a little bit of shooting as well.
Yeah, for sure. That's it. Growing up 43,000 acres, we had rifles and Dad had pistols and stuff like that back then, and yeah, we'd always, at the end of the day, I would help out a little bit. We'd have an old Hilux chute and had a little crane on the back, and I'd go out and knock one roo down, and that was, being on the farm, that's the dog's meat.
And that's back in the day, yeah.
That's back in the day. That was a long time ago. So I'd cruise out at that point. Yeah, I think I had a little 22 and, 223 at a young age, and yeah, like I say, then once I moved off the farm, moved into town, then shooting never was really something that was kind of achievable for us. And yeah, we fell away from it for a long time. And then I just, got a couple of mates that are up this way and started to get into a bit of pistol shooting, rifle shooting. And I went along that first time and had an absolute blast. And I was like, now I need to try and track down the license and everything like that. So went and did all my courses and did it all the proper way and got ticked off on things. And now slowly starting to trying to build on what I've got in the cupboard. So it's good.
So what sort of
safe?
What sort of disciplines do you enjoy?
Mainly long range shooting. And like I say, at this point, I've only just been shooting steel targets and everything. For me, I don't know, just that ding at the end of it. Yeah. It's quite exciting. Yeah, you find shooting paper sighting in and everything. But I don't know, just there's no noise. I guess it's like a person that goes out hunting. They like to see that fall and the drop. And that's a thing. I just like to hear that ding. And eventually just started to work out getting a property up north near Bundaberg. And basically that was more so number one case was for driving and riding. And not far underneath that was there for a little bit of shooting and stuff as well. So just want to do a long range target set up for myself and be able to shoot whenever I like and cruise along and have some fun.
Mate.
Sounds rough.
Sounds terrible. And here we are working 9 to 5. So what's the distance you got to so far, mate? What's your most proudest so far?
Well, my proudest one at the moment is 790 meters.
Okay. What sort of rig?
That's running a Sig Sauer 6.5 Creedmoor, the cross.
Yeah.
And so, I've stretched that one out to 790 meters. My goal is I want to try and get a kilometre, which is, damn long way. And
6.5, you should be able to get there.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, 6.5 for sure. Yeah, that was 790 meters. I had 3 on a 12-inch gong in a row. So it was it's definitely capable and achievable with that rifle. It shoots really nice. But like I say, it's only been like probably the last 13, 14 months that really a bit of shooting starting to come back as a good interest and a big hobby for us and something for a bit of fun. And I guess you go to these places to go shoot and it's out of phone service. So the phone doesn't ring, managers don't ring. So it basically gives me my quiet time. So it's, that's the best part to it.
I'll tell you what we're going to do, Brett. I think we're going to need to give him a couple of those Coolbell flashbangs.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Hey? Now, I don't know what a Coolbell flashbang is, but these are like little LED lights that stick on the back of your steel target.
Yeah.
And they're in like a bit of a parallel circuit. And when you hit that gong, they just light up like a Christmas tree. They're unbelievable.
And you wouldn't think it, but at 790 metres, you'll see them. Yeah, they
really?
stand right out. Yeah.
We were using them, few weeks back, but it was
800 odd metres, I think, wasn't it? Or was it not quite?
No, not quite. It was about 300 metres. But it was a very bright day, and that thing just lit up.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
So we'll get you a few of those, mate. Can you make that happen?
I can make that happen.
On the fishing stories over here, the fish was this big. And by the time he got back to town, it was this big.
You didn't hear how he missed it 50.
That is true. Got that on file.
That's cool.
I know what you're talking about.
So look, what's the future for Toby Price? What does that look like?
Well, at this point in time now, in March, just recently, we finished up our KTM contract. So I guess the last probably 4 or 5 years, I've been playing a little bit with the 4 wheels and 2 wheels because I know racing a motorcycle is not going to last forever. So that's why, 4 or 5 years ago, I started to plan my next move and next kind of jump. And the old saying is, with age comes a cage. And that's the plan is if we can now, I guess, at the last probably 4 or 5 years, it's been probably 80% looking at motorcycles, 20% the bikes. Bikes was always the main priority. Always took rank over everything else. But I was just trying to do some car stuff to gain some knowledge and experience in testing and trying to develop a car and make the car better and me to understand how easy it is to break a car. And and go from there basically. So I guess now once that's finished, it gives me basically 100% focus on trying to see if I can chase down a 4-wheel contract and go back to Dakar and do it on 4 wheels. So it's it's definitely tough unless you show up with probably 3 wheelbarrows full of money. Not too many teams are pretty keen to talk to you, but we've been in touch with a couple that are definitely willing to work with us and try and make it achievable for us to at least have a shot at it. And so you just working on that pretty hard at the moment. And then, but at the end of the day, I'll always ride a motorcycle as long as I can possibly ride a motorcycle. Still love it now and still enjoy it. But just need to, 36, turning 37 this year. It's definitely, it was getting close to being the retirement age anyway. You normally get to that 39, 40 years of age.
We know what that's like, mate.
Yeah. Just things don't heal as quick as they used to when I was 20. But, so we got some pretty big goals there. But, once like all the announcement came out about KTM, I've had, some numerous offers of going to do some events, and that's ranging from sprint car racing to tarmac rally, dirt rally, everything like that. So I guess in one way it's stressful not having a job, but then it's kind of freed me up to go and have a little bit of fun because, like I say, the last 30 years it's just been full gas, running on motorcycles and stressing about that and trying to keep bills covered. And at least now we can maybe go and have fun for 12 months. And then, if we're in a car, happy days. If not, and might be down the street mowing lawns and, cruise around. But I'm down for anything. So
catch at the local coffee shop. Mate.
Yeah, it might be at the coffee shop. I don't know how my brew would go, but it's
you'd have to man bun that mullet.
Yeah, I'd have to man bun the mullet, and then I'd fit right in. I think so.
I could just see you throwing some sort of soy latte over someone.
So there's definitely plenty of plans for the future, and just trying to work on those. So
well, I mean, if you're a sponsor and you're looking for someone, geez, hey?
Yeah, perfect.
Toby a call and you get onto social media, get in contact.
Yeah, we should have a side of a car available to sell off to anyone. So it's we've got plenty of real estate and plenty of space. But in the meantime, just like I say, just getting this property up north, just starting to set that up as I guess probably we going close to the forever home. I've always said the last 2 times I've moved, I never want to move again. It'll be the last time I move, but I'm doing another one for some reason. And it's going to about 273 acres, and so try and set that up, do some riding. Then I guess it can lead into some some training days with riding motorcycles for the younger generation and stuff coming through.
I was going to say, as you say, 37 to 40, you are looking at retirement. I mean, you look at someone like Brad, for example. I mean, that's a man that's very close to retirement. I mean, look, he hasn't got much time left. To be
Closer than you think.
But, what does retirement look like for you?
Well, like I say, if the car side of thing doesn't happen, I'm not 100% certain. For sure, like I say, I'll probably move into some coaching and stuff like that with some juniors and stuff coming through. And then probably try and reach out to some shooters and try and understand the rifle long game a little bit more and bit of pistol shooting and stuff like that. So, I don't know, maybe wouldn't mind trying to do a long-range rifle competition somewhere down the track and just, play around and do some different things for the next 12 months. And then, hope, fingers crossed, the car side works out really well because I understand motors and wheels and things like that. But, definitely the rifle side of things, I want to get the upper hand on it a little bit. And like I say, I enjoy that part of making the ammunition and stuff yourself and reloading and everything. So it's definitely like there's a science into it. It's not just pour this and put that in there and go and fire away. So I like to understand how things work and how it's put together and. So I'm enjoying all that experience as well. So,
well, mate,
plenty of options.
I can tell you right now that over in the States, they've got a great competition called King of the 2 Mile. As you know, we bought a company called Barrett, and they actually did very well this year on the King of the 2 Mile, but it's certainly a very, very popular competition over in the States.
I could see an MRAD ELR in your cabinet.
Look out.
Yeah, same for sure. But my 1 kilometre shot's probably a long way short of the 2 mile shot. So I've got a fair bit more practice to do yet.
You got to start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere for sure.
Well, I was going to sort of say, do you have any other sort of passions, hobbies? Like, are you in do you knit? Or is it just the racing?
Mainly just the racing. Anything with engines and wheels, I'm super keen for, or makes a loud bang, which is in here's like heaven for us. And from there, basically, look, I'm into everything. Like I'll try wakeboarding. I go snowboarding, anything like that. I'm terrible at it, but I'll try it. I'll do it. Enjoy mountain biking, everything like that. So like I say, I'll try anything once. If I enjoy it, I'll go and do it plenty more times. If I don't, then maybe put it to the side and park it, and maybe only do it a few times over the next 20 years. So it's, every now and then. Haven't been out to the range for a long time, but before through the halfway from probably August last year was trying to at least get out once a week just to do some like load developments and work out what shoots better out of the rifle, and trying to understand all that. So, but like I say, I'll do anything I can. It's like I say, I'll grab every opportunity I can with both hands and have a go at it and see how it goes.
So, Tobes, I know you do a lot. I think it's is it Starlight Foundation and other charities that you've sort of helped out disabled kids and people to achieve their goals, go out for a ride with you or a squirt in the buggy? Yeah,
so it's done a little bit with them. Also Make-A-Wish Foundation. They're the main guys that I've done some events with them with younger kids that not doing, I guess, so well in life. Being dealt the rough hand, and I guess that's what for me makes me appreciate the small things in life. It's I've had a lot of injuries, but they're just starting out their journey and got dealt a very, very rough hand. But I guess that all kind of came from my sister, because she was disabled coming through when I was growing up. She had cerebral palsy and she was blind from birth, so she was born 15 weeks early, and didn't have a very good start. Basically, wasn't meant to survive, and I think that was another driving force for me that made me really put 100% into everything, because I'd look across at my sister and go, well, that could have been me, but I make sure every chance I can to get an opportunity, that's where I'd put both hands on it and go with it. So it's I've done a fair few charity events. With Make-A-Wish and everything. And, it's been great to see putting a smile on kids' faces. And
I was going to say the kids would absolutely must love getting out there.
Yeah, they're getting out there and stuff. So I'd throw in the Can-Am beside us and go and do a few laps. And some kids are just full gas and wide open. And then there's some kids that just like just to cruise around and feel the wind a little bit. And you've barely crept over 10 kilometres an hour, but they think it's the best. And you just drive to cater for them. And but at the end of it, when they climb out, they're grinning from ear to ear, and everything they're going through. It's cool to give back there for a day. So it's definitely rewarding and cool to do those things.
Absolute Australian legend. I mean, mate, it's the epitome of doing stuff afraid. When you get off and you break your neck and you recover and you get back on and you just do it again because it's something you love and you're passionate about. Mate, my hat's off to you. Toby Price, would you please give him a round of applause, because I tell you what, mate, you're a dead set legend, and thanks for being on the NIOA Unloaded podcast.
Mate, appreciate it. Unreal, boys. Thanks for having us in and having a shoot, but hopefully I keep that top spot for a few months and I'll be stoked.
Cheers, Toby.
Thanks, mate.